Boom. 3, 2, 1, and we are... All right, guys. We're back for the final showing tonight. Sorry about the quick break. We did have some news alerts from Congress. I guess they had a late session tonight.
Big news. Big news.
Yeah, from the fake news desk. Yep. So, but we're back with the learned income credit. People have learned to adapt off the system and sponge as much as they can without change. And I think it's this actually last part is I think it's time for a change.
Yeah.
I think everybody in the room is you know, I don't know about the viewership, but
right.
well, it's whatever. Like, what are they going to call us and cancel our show? Screw you, CBS.
Call the sponsor.
Yeah, Murphy Stout. They're our sponsor, regardless if they want to be. They sponsored our behavior this evening, at least mine.
Right.
So it's been thrown around, and I want to kick it off with this. Oh, we also have a new guest on the camera. Mittens, the cat, has joined us this evening. He doesn't have much to say, but he's about to have his nippers gone, so this will be the last time you'll see him on camera with Nutsack. So, anyway, yeah. Okay, Chewbacca.
Sponsored by Star Wars.
Yeah, I think the NFL actually coined that.
Oh,
sound. So, yeah. But the government has created a position where we as Americans are kind of incentivized to reach out and culminate this thing that you don't work too much because we won't give you any money and have kids. Like, it's good to have kids. I think so. I mean, and Tim's the complete opposite side of the spectrum. I'm all for like bringing my lineage forward, but at the same time, I'm not just willy-nilly having kids. Like, right. I had a way to support them, and
you planned for it.
Exactly, it was planned. It wasn't like I'm gonna just
wake up, work hard every day.
It wasn't a way of saying, hey, I'm gonna get a $10,000 refund check.
Yeah, or like, hey, welfare doesn't pay for abortions.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's it was their out. Either way, I get $2,000 at the end of the year. The government's gonna pay for me to have a babysitter. Like, that's right. I don't know. So like we planned it that way. Tim chose not to. You had one planned.
Yes.
Right, see, like exactly, like that's.
I mean, didn't get an earned income credit.
Right. You had tax deduction.
Yeah.
For having a child, but at the same time,
I didn't get an extra money for it, and I think you should get a tax deduction. But I don't think anybody. I love the fact that I got a tax deduction. Made perfect sense, but they didn't give me any extra money, which frustrates me because I don't understand why I don't deserve it. Number one, number two, I should get the tax break, but I think everybody should get the tax break, but not the money.
Right.
There's no purpose.
Right. No, exactly. If you want to wipe it out. But I guess my thought process is that we should turn around and say, like, let's just fucking throw the tax system out. Come back in. So if you're in favor of it, I mean, the earned income, or not the earned income, the income tax in this country is technically unconstitutional. They just let the Supreme Court let it go because the government needed the fucking money. Right. So they just kind of turned a blind eye to the fact that it was unconstitutional. Now there's case law that says, "Oh, Supreme Court ruled that this, blah blah blah. We're not going to rule on their decision because the court already ruled on it." So regardless, it's here. Right. So unless you're going to get rid of it, which probably ain't going to happen because the government ain't going to
give away free money.
Right. They're not. But if you're going to keep it, we need to have like strict rules, like 2 nickels for every dollar, or 2 dimes for every dollar. 15-20%, which is what it is across the board for the most part. Yep. If everybody had to pay in 20 cents, and I think I talked to you guys in the break about this. If you're even if you're just a small business owner, you're making widgets.
Yep.
And you have to buy products A and B to put them together to make your widget. You should be able to, and you make $20,000 off your widgets. You should be able to just to use numbers to make, you know what I mean, like you're gonna survive off this. Yeah. You have $10,000 in material. So now you're getting paid for your labor, and at the end of the day, after paying your excise tax and all that other stuff, you take home $5,000. You get to write off those business expenses because they were integral in making your money.
Right.
So now you're being taxed on that $5,000. But you shouldn't be like, well, your life choices have led you to having a child and and racking up credit card debt and all this other stuff, and we should feel bad for you. No, like you should. Okay, so out of that $5,000, you pay you pay 20, you pay your 15-20%, and that's it.
Across the board.
Across the board, everybody.
Multi-millionaire or a hundredaire.
Everybody. Yeah, a hundredaire. Yeah, exactly. If you're a hundredaire, you're paying $20 in taxes at the end of the year.
Right.
If you paid in advance, and maybe you paid in 30, then you get your money back because you paid 30 when you should have only paid 20, but you know, you just sent it a check. So that was kind of like the deal.
Right.
Whatever. Like that makes sense to me. It works out that you run the numbers.
Refund.
That's a refund.
Here.
What's up?
Nothing.
No. That's the issue. I mean, I don't know. I think that's how we fix it. You just throw the system out.
Yeah, you have to. You completely scrap it.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean,
it's complicated.
It's super complicated the way it is now. Yeah, I mean, how many pages is it now to file your taxes? And you have to have this form if you made this much money, or you donated to this charity, or you did this, or if you're in this tax bracket, you use these 2 forms. But if you're in this tax bracket, you have to use these 2 forms. Ultimately, if you make $1,000, you pay in your 20%. You make $1 million, you pay in your 20%. Easy. It's fixed.
Yeah, you can explain to me how that's not fair.
Because it isn't fair the way it is now, because I pay more taxes than the person who makes
it's a progressive tax
$50,000 versus what I make, and why is it fair for me to pay your income for the entire year is my taxes?
Right. No, that's
I mean, $65,000 last year in taxes I paid. Personally. That's not fair.
No, it isn't fair.
But if I paid 20%, I would be okay if you paid 20%, and you paid 20%, and I paid 20% because I worked hard and I got where I'm at, and you worked hard and you got where you're at. But they didn't work hard and they only paid 5%, but they're getting as much or more than I am in taxes, but I paid mine and theirs because they're getting their money back. So absolutely, you're robbing from the rich
to give to the poor.
You're robbing from the productive.
Yes.
To the unproductive.
And that's true.
Because Robin Hood was doing a completely different thing. Right. He was taking from people that were, you know, having banquets and just like living off the tax dollars. He was pretty much stealing
the Trumps of the world.
He was stealing from in a way. He played the game. I mean, but whatever. I mean, like we could get into that. I mean, but he was stealing from congressmen.
Right. He was stealing from the congressman.
The congressman, because the congressmen just sit there and they go to Parliament and they show up for what? Like they're worse than worse than the recipients.
Right.
Like they show up like 6 days of work just because they were very charismatic and they knew the right people and they played the game. Like.
And their dad was a congressman before them. Or
exactly.
Yeah, that's another thing that's.
I feel like Scottish nobles are running this country.
We have no noble class in this country. Like, just like we want to get people off of welfare, we should get people out of Congress after a certain amount of time.
And then they go back to work at Walmart. My grandmother died working at Walmart. She worked at the makeup desk or whatever.
Go back to your county or wherever. You know what I mean? And give somebody else, not just give somebody else.
And if you want to be in politics, run for mayor or something. Run for state,
you know what I mean?
City councilman or
be a councilman.
Town whatever you're doing in your area and where you come from.
There should be
bigger business, expand it, hire more people. You know, like hire the people you know and you grew up with or whoever.
Right. And bring. You should all. I was always told when you get up where you want to be and you earn and you work hard, you got to remember the people that helped you get you where you are, and you got to help them along the way. Totally understand that.
Sure.
But when you're in Congress, I mean, the president only gets 2 terms. There has to be a term limit on not just the presidential candidates, but there needs to be on congressmen. There needs to be on every position within our federal government, because the reason being is because they are the people that Robin Hood stole from, because they are corrupt and they do what they do. And then there's companies that are pushing the government and supporting them financially, like the big boxes, and you can use Target or Walmart or Costco or whoever. They give them incentives.
We don't use names. We say Walley World.
Walley World or
Cost Save.
Cost Save.
Cost Save. And
Cost More or Bullseye.
William Tell.
William Tell. But you have these companies that are definitely giving incentives to these corrupt people to make sure that these tax incentives get to the people. Right. They're going to spend the money on TVs, and they're going to spend the money on electronics, and not on education, and not on things that are going to benefit the government, because they want to stimulate the government. Well, let's think about that. We're going to give you $10,000. You're going to go buy $10,000 worth of stuff. We're going to not only tax you sales tax, so we're going to get our money back in the long run anyways, which is great. Perfectly fantastic, wonderful. I get it. It needs to stop. It doesn't make any sense. We're basically sitting in a lazy.
We're trying to perpetuate something.
We are.
Perpetual energy is not existent.
Right.
Because what we're making energy from is like the backs of workers. So like we're not making energy by somebody walking to the store. Like you can't just take this money and then make more money without putting labor and like
on somebody else
thought process in.
You have no
you
right
actually
to,
like
you have no right to somebody's labor, and we should stop calling it the state or the government, or we should call it the taxpayer. It's taxpayer funded. That kind of humanizes it, you know, for people. We would like if it's that one little change can start to just break through to people that these are human beings that have to go and sweat and be away from the people that they want to be around. You know what I mean? All day long. 12 hours a day some days, so they can, you know, you can take half their paycheck and give it to somebody who doesn't want to try, you know, or has a list of excuses. These are real people
who ends up eating better and living in better housing than the person who's
There's
busting his ass.
There's no way you should live better than the working man. No way.
Right.
You have not earned it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't care what your excuse is. You know what I mean? Like, we'll work with you. You know, but if you have another, you know, if you're some kind of addict or some kind of other bullshit, like, I mean, get lost with that bullshit. You know, we're tired of that. You know,
yeah.
Everybody has that
because
fake back injury or some other bullshit like that. We're tired of it. If the people over at Subcon get up and go to work every day, then they can get up and go to work every day. If the vet's coming home with stuff blown off of them, lost eyesight, and stuff like that, they can get up and go to work every day. You can get up and go to work every day. It's ridiculous how sympathetic we are, and they still piss and moan at every turn. You know, fuck them. How's that?
I hear you. I completely agree with that, because then the naysayers are going to turn around and say to you, but those people will starve to death. But if I'm they won't. Not in our current situation. But if they're going to starve to death, they really should. You know what? Nothing shields my children from watching Bambi.
Right.
Bambi's mom got killed at the beginning of the movie. And the dad wanted nothing to do with Bambi. That was it. Tough noogies, Bambi, you're on your own. And Bambi made it. Like,
right,
he said out, yeah.
I mean,
like, and now to like put it on the rest of the forest helped out to raise Bambi, but they didn't have to. Right, they did it because they wanted to, and they they invested their time into Bambi. Now, if I want to invest my time into somebody who's down on their luck, that's on me.
Right.
That's not being forced.
You're not being forced to do it.
Right.
You know.
And right now we're all being forced to help Bambi.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to help Bambi, if you don't want to help Bambi and Bambi starves to death, that's called the nature of things. It's Darwinism.
I was going to say Darwin.
Survival of
Bambi's
the
driving
fittest.
by us in an Escalade, flipping us off. You know. So we're getting to the generation of Bambis that don't even fucking appreciate it anymore.
And not only that, but Bambi has been raised by Bambis that have been getting from Thumper, because they are getting the money. We are what, fourth or fifth generation. And I know that we're not on welfare or food stamps or housing or any of those things. Right now we're talking about the learned income credit, but we're just sitting back waiting for somebody to give me my next handout, because it's the easiest thing I have done. I woke up in the morning, I'm in my pajamas, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm still in my pajamas, and I know I have food and health and shelter, and my kids are going to eat frozen pizzas that I thawed and microwaved in the microwave while I eat shrimp and lobster.
And if you decide to pick up an extracurricular drug habit with your cash assistance,
right,
you don't have to worry about death, because death will never become you, because they can fucking bring you back from the dead.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're somebody
six times in one day.
Six times in one day. But if you have that habit, you know, we'll be more than happy to give you the free medicine to make you better. We'll give it to you 6 times a day. But somebody like me, who's a diabetic, has to pay $717 for their needle that they get once a week that keeps them alive. Well, let's see if that makes any fucking sense in this world whatsoever.
Right.
Because being a diabetic is, yes, a choice to a point, but then after that, it's no longer a choice. Your body says, you don't produce enough insulin, you produce way too much sugar, you're going to die.
Right.
A choice is, am I going to melt this rock down, put it in a spoon, and inject it into my arm, and then overdose, and then have somebody take a needle and shove it into my heart and make me pump up again? Absolutely.
Yeah,
or
then go steal for the next buzz. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? You put a lot of effort into that next buzz.
Oh, but they shouldn't go to jail for stealing, because
yes,
they're
they should.
sick.
No, they're not.
I know.
You're weak.
Right.
You know, you're just weak. You know what I mean?
and it's
This is not a disease. It's a
No,
fucking
you know,
weakness.
and what happens to the weak? They either get eaten, or they inherit
they
the
die
earth.
out.
And I think
But
right now
as
they've
of right
inherited the
now,
earth.
because we're in America, the weak go on assistance and they get a $10,000 or a $12,000 assistance check at the end of the year from their wonderful learned income credit, and they get their food stamps and their homes and their cars and their cell phones and their health care and all that good happy horse shit.
Their Obama phones.
Their Obama phones. Thank you, Barack Obama, for your 8 years of service. I get a cell phone for free if I
decide to quit your job.
Decide to quit my job and do nothing.
Right. Well, and that's really, I guess that pisses me off to every.
There's no incentive to work anymore.
No, exactly.
Right.
That's the worst part.
Pretty soon we're gonna be looked at as suckers. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you doing? Like, why would you go there for 8-10 hours a day and work your ass off for the same amount of money that they just hand me?
I mean, the baby boomers. The baby boomers are the people who are looking at us as though our generation, even your generation, are the ones that take. We take and take and take and take and take because they're the ones that broke their backs building this country and giving us the ability to have Social Security and giving us all of these things that were horrible and all of these things that they built industries and they built companies up from the ground up, and then poof, we come along and we're like, oh,
look what Daddy did.
Look what Dad did. That's awesome. But he did that, so I don't have to. And now I'm just going to sit on my ass. I'm going to pop up a couple kids, and I might start a habit or two, and I'm going to go and I'm going to just my life is going to be super simple. I don't have to do anything because my dad did it or my grandpa did it or my mom did it. And then they learn from that person, and then their kids learn that, oh, well, Mom didn't go to work. She sat at home while Dad went to work for a couple hours a week, and then they were making all kinds of money because we got food stamps and we got all this public assistance that initially was supposed to be temporary.
Right.
All of this was temporary, including the earned income credit was a temporary, you didn't make enough money, we're going to help you out till you get to that point. And now it's just basically everybody waits like a
You give them an inch
dog.
and they take a mile,
Right.
and it
Constantly.
stays forever.
Yep, you
Forever.
can't take it away.
Right.
You know, they'll riot in the streets. If
And
you
it's
try to
almost
take
like
it away.
Pavlov. We are
not your money.
We're ringing the bell, and they're just
We're
waiting.
not stealing from you. It's not a cut. It was never your money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What happens when somebody just stops ringing the bell? Eventually, they'll stop salivating.
They'll either stop salivating, or you know what? And this is sad, and I'm going to say it, but there are going to be people who do. They are going to
starve to death.
They are going to perish, and they're going to but they're going to figure it out. They're either going to find a way, or the communities and the people are going to help them. They're going to have to get off their asses and get a job.
Or they're going to starve to death. And I guess that's the ultimate punishment, because if you can't die, then why the fuck do you have to go to work? Like, if everything is so easy, like, when you're in kindergarten, you don't have to worry about where a snack is coming from, because Mom and Dad put it in your lunch pail. Right. You know what I mean? But now you get your big boy pants on.
Right.
And you're in the real world now. You should have a job. You should be able to, like, now when your kids have snack time, like, you have to make sure that they got a snack in their goddamn
You're the
bag.
parent that's got to put the damn thing in there. You're the 35-year-old that has to have a job because the government isn't going to give you that handout anymore.
And a lot of us live our lives knowing that the government isn't going to do that, even though they technically will. Mm-hmm. And we do it because we know that it's right.
Right.
And we know that we shouldn't do it just because the easier route means that I can sit at home all day and watch Sesame Street.
Right.
And,
absolutely. And you know what? There are programs out there that I am 1,000,000,000% behind. WIC is a wonderful program that I think that everybody should take advantage of. But I don't think it should be people who are just lower income or even middle income who are middle class that can't afford certain things. I think every person, their 5-year-old should, I think that is a government program that shouldn't stop. But food stamps, if you've been on it for 5 years, you're done. You've had 5 years to figure it out.
Yep.
Now you're done. Well, my kids are going to starve to death. Well, I mean, I guess I'm sorry for your children that you brought them into this and you couldn't figure it out.
You know, your kids will be okay, because I guarantee nobody's going to let the kids die.
Yeah.
But because look at
But
it.
we're not going to let you live at the shelter with the kids. You're not living at the orphanage.
Like,
sorry.
the state has plenty of foster care for the kids. It's you who's going to fucking starve.
And if you want to not starve and you want to have your kids,
have access to their
get your
money.
ass into a job. Get into a place that will help you. How many? I mean, there are so many funded government money things that are just cesspools of we're throwing cash into, and it's going away. Go to the unemployment office and see if there's any jobs posted. Go to a temp service who is looking for people all the time, and go work at any of the multiple locations of retail establishments in your area that hire for holiday or remodel or
Start somewhere. Start somewhere.
Yeah, nobody wants to be the guy that's cleaning out the grease trap at Burger King, but
you know what? It's a job that has to be done, and there's somebody who's going to do it.
And it gives you part-time until you can actually, like, put your resume out there and say, hey, I've been taking this after.
Anybody that's got that attitude should listen to Martin Luther King's speech on Street Sweeper. This is the street sweeper speech from Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to quote him because I won't do it justice, but if anybody's interested, go to that speech and listen to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, you know, I started my career out as a maintenance person.
Right.
And it is the most thankless and unappreciated job you will ever have in your entire life.
I was the only one at Burger King who got roped into cleaning pubic hair out of the urinals.
I mean, I cleaned out used condoms.
I've done it. Like
used condoms from light fixtures and toilets, and I mean, unbelievable things that the bathrooms in the women's restroom is probably the most disgusting bathrooms you will ever go into. However,
the feminist movement is outside the door.
Well,
they just sent me a text message saying they're going to ram the door down. I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm just saying, when it looks like a rhinoceros just shit up the wall, you know there's some shit going on. But anyways, all I'm saying is, the people that you need to realize is, there is someone out there who needs to clean that toilet, because those in high society don't want to come into a toilet that's got shit on it. But guess what? There are people who are sitting on a couch that are like, oh, there's no work out there for me. Bullshit. Yeah. You can go somewhere.
There's work. You got a sense of entitlement,
and you've got to suck it up.
You don't feel like you need to be the guy that's pulling used condoms out of the drain.
Right. And you know what? I'm totally okay with if the government says, you know what, you guys are right, and we're gonna take. You've got the next 3 years, and this year you make $10,000 in food stamps, and next year you're gonna do $6,200. We're gonna wean you off of this because we don't want to go cut cold turkey because you will die. But we're going to say, if you don't get a job by this date...
Okay. No, I'm not for mass genocide.
Right, I'm not for mass genocide.
But but there are going to be a couple people that die, and it's inevitable. Like, people die all the time.
Right.
People die texting and driving because they don't have a job, and they think that driving their Obama car, because the Cash for Clunkers gave them a free car, you know, like that's...
We're not going to hurt the kids or starve the kids. It's the adults that are in trouble because they get paid on behalf of those kids. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, well, if you can't take care of them or take care of yourself... If you can't produce an income or care for these kids, then we're going to find somebody who does want to do that. And,
absolutely.
And they're the ones who are going to be fucking, you know,
raising
they're
these
asking
kids.
To win. The kids are going to be fine. Probably better off.
Yeah, because there are people out there that work really hard and want to have kids and can't have kids, and they go and adopt your children because you can't take care of them.
Yeah, because you're just a scumbag. You never wanted to try. You know?
Even if there's programs out there, and I know they exist, and I won't get into the details of how I know. But if you collect welfare, there are jobs out there that you can work, and you don't make money at them, but you work at these jobs, and it pays for your welfare.
Yeah, it's like a work for welfare type program.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you want to be on welfare going forward for the next 5 years, we've got trash in the streets. We got people who need to help fill potholes because I don't want to pay them $35 an hour. Yeah. We got 3 guys leaning on a shovel when we've got these 2 guys who could be definitely doing the same job for way less pay.
Union boys are going to want to talk about that.
Well, you know what? They can come talk to me because I guarantee the people who are leaning on the shovel are still going to get paid for leaning on the damn shovel, while these people, I don't even care if we make them use spoons to fill the damn potholes.
Right.
But they should be doing something. Right. Pick up trash on the side of the road.
Something. You can maintain the ball fields or mow the school lawn or whatever, something, anything.
We are kind of digressing though from the earned income credit. Like,
yes,
it was nice to kind of go down this path because it was a necessary path that we had to cross. The whole Bambi thing, you know?
Exactly, and that's what has basically led to we have this earned income credit, and it's because we have all of these things. We work 30 hours a week between 2 parents. We get $10,000 at the end of the year.
To blow. And that's not. I'm not.
It's not to blow. Like I try to explain that to people.
Everything's already paid for. You know, you get $10,000 to blow.
I see people that come to me and they're like, "Oh yeah, hey, like we, you know, like here's a little bit of rent money. Here's this, here's that." And it's like we don't. It's like I know how much money people are getting back, and I'm like, well, you know, I would do this, I would do that. Wouldn't be spending it on, you know,
pay
pot
off
and a TV. Like I'd be, you know, you have a credit card debt? Like, you know what I mean? I'm always trying to give people advice. Like that's
more video games. Yeah, it's so frustrating to.
Like sometimes you do have to reward yourself a little bit.
Sure,
absolutely.
But you should kind of work for it first.
Right.
Or at least have a plan to pay your rent next month.
Right.
Because you know that $10,000 you got on the 1st of March is going to be gone by the 8th of March.
Right.
If you don't.
Yeah. Right. No, like, and if you know, like that's a large chunk of it. If you had rent, if you had your rent money in place, and you know, like you had a plan, and you were like, you know what, at the end of that $12,000. You know, I spent it wisely. I paid off some debts. I paid off my utility bill that kind of got a little behind.
Yeah.
And then
I paid an extra month in rent.
I paid an extra month rent, and then I had 50.
stress that won't be on you.
I had 50. I had $50 extra dollars, and I took the kids to the movies.
Right.
You know what? I'm not griping at that guy.
Nope.
That guy doesn't exist.
Right.
That guy doesn't exist. That person is fictitious. That's like the good Bambi father that took Bambi under his
wing
fucking,
and took Bambi and took him
under his shoulder.
Yeah.
Taught him how to
bone.
skate.
There's
before
people
he
like
fell.
that exist. We just never get shown them. You know what I mean? Like
No, the people you see in the street are the moms that are bludgeoning each other to death with their with shopping carts at Walmart on Black Friday.
Right.
Because they H&R Block or one of the other financial companies gave them a lending on their potential earned income credit. Those people are also probably going to lobby the fucking government when we tell them we're. And so here on this channel, I'm going to sum it up. I'm just going to come to an end here because we are going to start a movement. I want to start a movement. I want us to like. We should go like talk seminars. Put these videos out there. Keep on people. And like so we might lose some viewership on some of our videos because you're not going to watch the same video over and over again. But if we keep talking about it, eventually we will promote social change, and we need to promote social change. And it's got to fucking happen.
I mean, look at how far the left has gone. Just doing this.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's.
We have to help the people. We have to help the people. We're trying to help the people.
Absurd because of them. Because
we're the people
listening to them.
We're the people saying you don't have to help all the people that you're helping. You need to help all of the people.
Right. Even the people that are paying into.
Correct.
Right.
We're living, breathing proof of that. Some of us have kids and some of us don't, but we're all people together. Right. And that's and we need to stop. We need to stop giving back. If you want to give back, I give to charity in my own free time. And it's my labor hours. Right. You know what I mean? If I had a bigger paycheck, I'd be donating to charity. Mm-hmm. And if the government said, "Hey, you can't write that off on your taxes," I fucking wouldn't. Right. Sure, and I would still give to charity. It wouldn't affect what I give to charity. Right. And it's one of those things that you just...
Well, being charitable and being a sucker, different. Right. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to give somebody a help up or, a couch to sleep on for a little while or...
Whatever it happens to be.
Like, that's charity.
Whatever thumper type fucking woodland creature,
back every
community
week,
member you want to be.
Like, all right, hit the bricks. You know what I mean? You do it to you do it to a friend. Right. You know what I mean? You're not doing them any favors by keep handing them money. Right. You know what I mean?
No, that's the same issue that parents are having with children of addiction. Mm-hmm. They just hand them money and they're like, my kid won't get better.
Right. I don't know why.
Yeah. I don't know why. Right. No, exactly. So, but in summation, we're going to start a social movement here, and it's not just going to be on the earned income credit. It's going to be about previous videos like leeches. It's going to be on the junkies that are using the same system to survive. We need to start a social movement. Agreed. So, comment below. Let us know, viewers, what you think. We need this to fucking change. I know that you probably haven't hung on to us with the last 22 minutes of fucking our shenanigans, but I like to think that we're real Americans talking about real issues, and our ideas and our thoughts aren't too far off from your own. And this is real life, and we need to all fucking. We need to play fair and live by the rules, and the rules are very Darwinistic. I don't care what religion you play by.
Tough love is still love.
Right, exactly. You eat or you don't. If you don't eat, you die. Ta-da. The end. Thanks for playing. We'll see you guys next time. And, if you don't have a job, get one. Just clip right to the fucking now. I'm seeing.